Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm gonna be posting a trade recap from yesterday. So I haven't gotten one out in a few days because one, it was the weekend, and two, I was kind of busy yesterday. So yeah, let me just go to the start. So this was the 8:14 a.m. I said setting limit at 3633, and this ended up working out pretty well. This was the 10th, so it's right here. Okay, so I said I was setting a limit at 363. Why? Because there was a fair value gap. So this was going to be the entry, and these are the targets. The targets were at 3639-ish and 3643-ish. So let me just draw that out real quick, and I can use an extent or horizontal line. So this is a target, and then this is a target right there. So this is where the entry was, and I said setting limit at 3633. 3633 was right here, okay? So we almost bottom ticked it, but not quite. Very, very close though. And so at 9:21 a.m. I said taking the limit off for now. Why? Because we were way up here, and I didn't like this. Kind of seemed like a far way down, so I didn't think we'd get there. And then I go and I reset. I said getting close. We'll try to get like 5 to 10 points off this 3633 fair value gap zone. And why that many points? Because I saw that we broke market structure shift here. This is at 9:50 a.m. though, and I said this at 9:55 a.m. So I said this at 9:55 a.m. money right there, and I saw that we broke market structure, and that's why I said I only want 5 to 10 points, because we created this fair value gap in the process, okay, which we rejected, and we created this order block in the process, and this is a pretty clean order block, and I ended up only getting half filled at first because it bounced a little above, and then some more people got filled on there, and then that's when it really ran. And as you can see, it hit both our targets. I was mostly out by this target because that was almost 10 points, and 10 points is a really good trade. So yeah, and then my other play, so I said this, I never really posted the update, but it did go 20 points, as you guys can see. So the reason why this was the final best target is because there's a fair value gap here, so it could have just went right in this fair value gap and boom, rejected. So my targets are picked pretty nicely, in my opinion, and a lot of times if you're picking targets and you see bare fair value gaps, if you're going along and you see bare fair value gaps to the upside, a lot of times like this would be even a better target, because sometimes as soon as we hit this fair value gap, we reject. And this is just a good target because it was a, I guess, mitigation block. So this is a mitigation block, so we could have easily rejected this, so that was why I picked that target. And this was the other play. This was kind of a mid play. Not the greatest, but I ended up getting money on it. So I only did 2 plays yesterday. They're both green. And then I said at 11:40 a.m. setting a short limit at 3630, and that was right. I think it was on the 1 minute actually. Okay, so that was right here, I think. Yeah, so that was in this fair value gap. And I ended up getting filled right on this wick, okay? And it touched 3929.50 on US or on ES, but on MES it must have just touched my fill, because I ended up getting filled right there. And like this is where I got filled right there. I don't know how I got filled. I got pretty lucky there. And then I said and these are my targets. Okay, so my targets are pretty low because again, I thought we were gonna squeeze through this, but I thought we'd reject this first. So what ended up happening was, if you draw the targets, I had a target of 3627 and I had a target of 3624. So this was my first target, and then 3624 was right here. And these targets, again, I had this right here because boom, we have a fair value gap here, so just in case, that's why I had my target there. And you can see we bounced out of this fair value gap. And then my other target right there was kind of a like a random target because I was figuring we were gonna squeeze through this. So my entry from 3630 to 3627, that's 3 points. That's not even bad. And I ended up getting filled on my limit pretty quickly, and then I got stopped the rest of break even. So yeah. Another thing I want to say is if you have a target in mind, especially for when I alert these in Discord, if say you don't get filled, okay, say you miss a fill and it hits my first target, then you should not be entering if it already hits one of my targets. But let's say it misses your fill and then it doesn't hit the target and then it goes back again, then it's okay to leave your fill up and see what happens, okay? But even then, that can be risky. But I would suggest taking off the limit if you don't get filled if it hits one of my first targets, because if I got filled, that means I'm already out. You just want to be careful of that. And the last thing, I don't think there's anything much else. I literally only had 2 plays yesterday, and I was patient enough to make money in them. I was very surprised we reversed after this, but you can see that we didn't really have an obvious market structure shift right here, but I guess there's liquidity down here apparently, so we rejected this fair value gap, and then we ended up rejecting this fair value gap. And I did kind of point those out, but I never took them. This wasn't even in premium, I don't think. Yeah, this was just barely missed premium. But yeah, yesterday was a pretty good day. Hopefully you guys learned something. I think it's important to know how you should set your targets. Targets usually should be right before fair value gaps, and then maybe like order blocks or just liquidity, because if you're going against a trend, likely, and your bias is wrong, then likely chances we're going to bounce out of them. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. Make sure you join my Discord, and other than that, peace out.